Marcus Rashford calls out the Manchester United fans for his recent criticism. United's summer budget revealed, and it looks like lots of players will be heading for the exit door. These are some of the stories we will be discussing on this evening's show. But before we jump into that, please smash a like on today's video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's get straight on into it. So let's start the show off with some positivity, like I always try and do here on Daily Red Devil. And the headline, or the positive story for you today, is that apparently Mason Mount will be in the team tomorrow for the game against Burnley. I know some people are disappointed with the signing of Mason Mount. They think he's a flop. They think he was a waste of money. Fine, have those opinions. But still, he's a Manchester United player. He's not really had an opportunity yet because of his injuries. And I want to see Mason Mount. He was a decent player at Chelsea. You know, it's not like he was a rubbish player. He was good at Chelsea. He's come to Manchester United. He's got the weight of the world on his back. And he's just been injured all season. It's very, very frustrating, you know, that one of our biggest signings of the summer, I think he cost, £60 million, something around that kind of figure. Our biggest, one of our three big signings of the summer has been injured all year and has effectively offered us nothing. It's very, very frustrating. I wasn't that excited about Mason Mount in the first place, but the more it grew on me, I thought, you know what? Maybe he is what we're looking for. He keeps the ball well. He's good for a possession-based team. And I really wanted to see Mason Mount do well. And the season he's had has just been devastating for him, really, to literally be playing such few games, to come back from injury, get injured again, come back and get injured again, just over and over and over. So hopefully we get to see him tomorrow. But Erik ten Hag has confirmed that he will be in the squad for the Burnley game. So that's the positive story. Let's move over to this Marcus Rashford stuff. So for anybody who's been living under a rock, Marcus Rashford has changed his profile picture on Twitter and his cover photo, and you're probably thinking, what the hell are you talking about? But he's changed it to nothing, so it's just a black picture, just a black square and a black cover photo. There's no images of him on social media anymore. And then he's put out a tweet earlier on today. So somebody called United Paradigm on Twitter wrote, "The way Marcus Rashford is being treated is absolutely disgusting. It's cruel and it's abuse." Marcus Rashford then quote tweets this person and says, "I appreciate your support. It is abuse and it has been for months. Enough is enough." It's just really difficult for me to get behind Marcus Rashford on this. Any form of abuse I think is wrong. Anything to do with, race or anything like that. That is, of course, completely wrong. But us as Manchester United fans are within our right to criticise and critique a player's performance. It's an opinion at the end of the day. There might be some people out there who think Marcus Rashford's been good this season. Probably not very many, but it is just an opinion. And it's not like on this channel or on other channels, people are saying, I don't like the way he looks, or I don't like this about him. We're talking about how he performs on the pitch. We're talking about his attitude. We're talking about his demeanour, the way he conducts himself, the effort he puts in. These are the things that we're criticising him about. And that's not abuse. It's far from abuse. I don't know. Maybe there's more to this story than what we know. But from what I've seen, and obviously I talk to you guys every day. I'm on Twitter a lot. I don't really see that much abuse towards him. I see people putting up videos where he's walking around not tracking back and then we concede a goal and people complaining. That's not abuse. That's just you being criticised for your inability to play football. So I think it's a very difficult one. Me personally, I just think that Marcus Rashford should just leave in the summer. And that's me looking at it from both angles. If he's unhappy and he thinks that the Man United fans are abusing him, then it probably is best that he goes somewhere else, because I just don't see how we can, get better from here. There are plenty of players who've been rubbish this season, by the way. Let me just add to this section. I said this many, many times on the show. 90% of this squad should be gone in the summer, Marcus Rashford including. 90%. So people can't say that the fan base are only picking on one player. I've said this so many times. My opinion is 90% should be gone. And Marcus Rashford is one of those 90%. He stands out a little bit more because of his wages. He's on 350k a week. I'm not going to sit here and massively criticise, say, I don't know, who can I think of as an example? Garnacho, if he has a bad game, because he's 19 years of age. He's just got into the first team. He's on about 60, 70k a week. And he tries and gives 150% every time. When you've got someone like Marcus Rashford, who's got this whole PR spin of, I'm from the local area and all the rest of it, Manchester United's my club, and he can't even track back. how are you supposed to defend him? I'm sorry, like it's really, really difficult for me. I'm trying to be level-headed here. I'm trying to give an honest looking at both sides of the argument, but I personally think now the best option would be for him to leave. In relation to him leaving, we've got a story coming out from Mark Ogden, who reports for ESPN. He says Marcus Rashford's future is now in doubt, which I think we all agree with. It says, but having just signed a new 300 grand a week, 5-year contract, the England forward is generating little interest from other clubs. It says sources believe that speculation linking him to PSG is not very reliable. So the general gist of it is there's no club that want Marcus Rashford, I don't think. I mean, PSG would like him, but I don't think they'll get him. Apparently, they want to go for Rafael Leao. And I mean, even if you compare to like Arsenal, right? I've seen a few people on Twitter saying, why doesn't he go to Arsenal? I could see him doing really well at Arsenal. Bukayo Saka, who is arguably better than Marcus Rashford, is on 195k a week. So are you really telling me that Arsenal will sign? This is just an example, just to kind of give you the lay of the land in the Premier League. Arsenal would pay, 60 to 100 million for Marcus Rashford. He would come in and he would break their wage budget. He'd be their highest earning player. He'd be earning more than Martinelli, more than Saka, more than Saliba, more than all of these players who were on the brink of winning a Premier League title. Like, it's not going to happen. I don't know where we go from here, to be honest. I really don't. I don't think we're going to win Premier Leagues or Champions League with Rashford as our winger. He doesn't work hard enough. So, and that's not abuse. That's just an opinion. And I'm entitled to give my opinion as a Manchester United fan. I sit and watch every single game for the last 30 years of my life. I go and watch games and pay hard-earned money. Every time I go to a game, you've got to pay for a train, a hotel. I mean, that's my decision, obviously. I don't have to do that, but I support my team and I enjoy going to watch football. So, I don't know. I just think to come out and say that, it's abuse. Maybe there is some abuse going on that we don't know about. But as I said, I'm on Twitter pretty much constantly. I follow all of the big accounts, all of the ones who are maybe giving this so-called abuse. And I don't really ever see anything that bad. But I don't know. Maybe there's stuff that I'm missing. At the end of the day, you're a professional footballer. If you're a professional musician or you're a celebrity chef or you're whatever it might be, you're always going to get criticism. You're always going to be in the public spotlight. And if you can't handle that, then I don't really think it's the right industry for you to be in, being completely honest. Now, if we're talking about proper abuse, racial, whatever it might be, that's obviously completely unacceptable. But for Manchester United fans to say that Marcus Rashford should go because he doesn't work hard enough, that, like, anybody would say that. You see Alan Shearer saying that. We've seen, the Talk Sport people who don't support Manchester United say that. So it's not like it's just coming from Manchester United fans. But anyway, that's my take on that. Let me know what you think in the comments section about Marcus Rashford and whether you think his handling of this has been correct. I think that's the problem here. I think he's handled this terribly, and I think it just annoys Manchester United fans even more. Right, I'm going to rattle for you some outgoings really, really quickly. So the headline this evening from Mark Ogden again is that apparently Raphael Varane and Anthony Martial are both going to leave as free agents this summer. That has been confirmed. We will be saving around £500,000 in wages from those two players. So that's a massive positive. I mean, if you look at that over a season, it's about £25 million a year in wages we'll save. 25 million. Crazy. So that's really, really good. I'm happy about that. We've got an update for you on Christian Eriksen as well. Apparently Eriksen, we spoke about this a bit yesterday, but yeah, there's a strong interest from Turkish clubs for Christian Eriksen. I think he would do really well over in Turkey. It's a little bit slower. He'd have more time on the ball. It's a little bit less demanding, let's say. And I think that would be the right decision. So if Eriksen can get a move to Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, whoever that might be, Besiktas, great, go and do that. In relation to Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire, all four of those players are out of contract next season in 2025. So this summer's going to be the summer where effectively Manchester United have to cash in on them, because if they don't, they're going to go for nothing. Now, I think Scott McTominay will get a new contract. I'll be honest, I don't really rate Scott McTominay that much, but as a bench player, if he's happy to be a bench player, then we need people to fill out our squad. That's fine, but Lindelof can definitely go. Wan-Bissaka, I think if you can get 20 million for him, you have to take it. Harry Maguire, I think, again, if you could get a good amount of money for him, you would sell him, but whether we would be able to, he's on really high wages. There's lots of question marks there. So for me personally, Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka, you definitely sell. You can easily cash in on them. I think Scott McTominay and Maguire might be more slightly difficult, particularly because we know that both of those players don't want to leave Manchester United. McTominay and Maguire refused to leave last summer. So I just have a feeling they don't want to go and they're happy to be squad players. Whereas I think Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka would happily leave the club. You know, you could see Lindelof going to the Turkish league, Wan-Bissaka going back to Crystal Palace, and I think that would work well for them. But I'll obviously keep you updated on what happens with that. But hopefully we can clear as many out as possible. In relation to in relation to incomings, players coming in, the headline this evening is that apparently Manchester United will have a net spend of £100 million. So net spend means including sales. Sorry, not including sales. So whatever happens this summer, Manchester United will be able to spend £100 million. Okay? So if we were then to sell players, say you sold Maguire, Greenwood, Casemiro, etc., that would all be on top of the 100 million. So we could have a really, really big summer if we play our cards right. But 100 million in the current market is probably only 2 or 3 players. So as it stands, we'll probably get 2 or 3 signings. But then, you know, if a Maguire goes, a Casemiro goes, then we'll probably have to fill those positions in and we will then spend more money. So 100 million, it's a lot of money, but it's not going to take us from where we are now to title contenders. We need to probably spend another 300 to 500 million, I think, including outgoings. You know, that's including selling 90% of the team. But let me know, how many players do you think Manchester United need in order to be challenging with Man City and Arsenal and Liverpool and those other top teams? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. A little bit more positivity actually for you as well. So Erik ten Hag did his press conference earlier on today, and he was asked about Luke Shaw, Martinez and Martial. And apparently all 3 of them are expected to be back available to play in the first team before the end of the season. So it might be that FA Cup final against Man City, we get Luke Shaw back, we get Martinez back. I mean, even Martial to have as an option coming off the bench is better than nothing. Obviously, he's going to leave for free in the summer anyway, so you may as well chuck him in. There's no fear like, oh, if Martial gets injured, he won't go. Martial's going regardless. His contract expires. So that's a real positive, and it makes me, I'm not confident that we'll beat Man City, but it gives me a tiny bit more confidence knowing that, you know, if we were to have Martinez and Luke Shaw in that defence, it definitely gives us more of a chance, although I still think we'll lose. But yeah. Let me know. What do you guys think about that one? Let's have a look what else we've got. Thomas Tuchel. Wanted to talk about this a little bit. So this is coming out from The Athletic. I know most of you don't want Thomas Tuchel, but he is the manager who is most linked to us at the moment. So the headline this evening is that Bayern Munich fans have petitioned to the club to keep Thomas Tuchel as their manager next season, saying that other candidates don't hold a candle to Tuchel. Apparently the petition has got over 10,000 signatures already in the last 24 hours. I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I'm Bayern Munich fan, you're going from Thomas Tuchel to Ralf Rangnick. Ralf Rangnick is, you know, a good coach. I think he's a good technical director, good sporting director. But I think going from Thomas Tuchel to Ralf Rangnick is a bit of a downgrade. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Bayern Munich. I have a feeling that they will end up keeping Thomas Tuchel. Obviously, Barcelona backtracked and have now keeping Xavi. I think he'll end up staying at Bayern Munich. I wouldn't be surprised if they go to the final of the Champions League, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win it, to be honest. Like, you never know in the Champions League, do you? Who do they play next? Do they play Real Madrid? I'm just going to have a quick look. Champions League. Yeah, they play Real Madrid. I mean, realistically, if Bayern beat Real Madrid, they'll probably win the competition, won't they? I think they'll beat Dortmund or PSG, realistically. But I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. If you have enjoyed today's video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. This has been Daily Red Devil. Have a lovely evening, everybody, and I'll speak to you all very soon.